no sense.
You are listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, presented by TeamBoydTV. Thank you. Hey, listen, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Big Q, TeamBoydTV. We are here with the Black and Blue Podcast live on Spreaker. Yeah, man, we decided to switch up the podcasting a little bit. It was a little weird on YouTube, right? Because you couldn't really get the RSS and all. It's a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo. But basically, what we're trying to do is get the word out, man. We want the Black and Blue Podcast to spread and to grow. We want all the Carolina Panthers fans to really, take a look at it and check it out. This is the best way to do it because of the fact that, now we can do the podcast. We can have it archived on places like Stitcher and iTunes and Podcast Addict and all that kind of stuff. So, that's what we're trying to do, and I think it's awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with it. This podcast stuff is awesome. I actually having a ball doing this. And this is episode number 4, because the first 3 episodes we did on YouTube, this episode number 4 is the first one that we are doing on Spreaker. So it should be fun. So listen, I want to thank everybody who is checking us out right now, who are listening, and if you listen to this on the archive and everything, I still appreciate it, and it's all gravy. If you want to join the conversation, you can. If you go to Spreaker.com/user/TeamBoydTV and click on the episode number 4 that we're doing right now, the little live link. There's a chat and we can chat, and that's cool. It's one way you can get involved with the show. Also, I have the Skype line open, like I always do. I always keep the Skype line open just in case anybody want to call in and give your thoughts on what we're talking about today. So you go open up Skype, type in TeamBoydTV, click it, call me up. I will answer. We'll talk. It's gravy. I like it. The Uva was there too. Also, you can hit me up on Twitter. I got the Twitter open. I'm looking at it right now, checking that out. And so Twitter is good. I mean, I will be able to live tweet with you guys during the show, and good because I'm good like that. I can multitask. I can do that. Also, Facebook.com/TeamBoydTV. That's TeamBoydTeevee. I don't know why they made me spell it that way on Facebook, but that's the way it is. And also, TeamBoydTV is live on Instagram. We're live on Tumblr. Well, they're not live on Tumblr, but we're on Tumblr and we're on Google+. So that is how you can connect and get down with the Black and Blue Podcast and me, Big Q, representing TeamBoydTV. Now, before we get started and everything, I want to give a shout out because, I was supposed to to acknowledge this on the last podcast that I did, and I didn't get a chance to do it. And I put it with what I'm getting ready to say in the comments. I mean, in the description. But that wasn't good enough because I felt like I wasn't really doing my man justice. So back on the last podcast, we were talking about the whole wide receivers leaving the Carolina Panthers and signing with other teams and stuff. And and I had said something. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said some things along the lines of people like Louis T were siding with David Gettleman in this whole process, and Louis quickly responded. He was like, "Yo, no, man, I didn't say nothing that I don't like. No, Dave Gettleman, I think he's an idiot." Stuff like that. So I want to go ahead and publicly say, "Hey, my bad, Louis. I think I was doing so much at the same time that I was reading all the comments and stuff, and yeah, whatever. You know how it goes. But my bad. For everybody who's listening, Louis T did not make those claims that I said that he had made on the last podcast. He said he had nothing to do with it. And I believe he didn't have nothing to do with it. I checked this video out again, and he was telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, what we're talking about today, we're talking about a couple things. We got 3 topics we're going to talk about. The first one is going to be, we're talking about how everybody knows this by now. It's common knowledge. All the wide receivers pretty much are gone from the Carolina Panthers, and we were stuck with a couple really young dudes who ain't got a whole lot of snaps and playing time under their belt. I think these guys are going into their second season and stuff, things like that. So, but in the middle of all that, and I didn't realize this until a couple of days ago. I was reading this article how Cam Newton was in the Caribbean chilling on vacation when all this stuff was going down a couple weeks ago, and when he didn't know about none of this until he came back. He didn't even know about the Steve Smith stuff, Brandon LaFell, Ted Ginn, Dominic. He didn't know nothing about none of that stuff, and he came back to get the MRI on his ankle. This was right before he went to go have the surgery and stuff. And that's when he found out about everything, which I thought was crazy. I was like, they didn't even text this dude or say they didn't do nothing. I mean, I don't know. And and I think he dealt with it pretty good. I haven't seen Cam Newton on TV or heard him in any kind of interviews or radio stuff saying anything pretty much about this. I mean, it's been Ron Rivera pretty much talking for Newton because they asked him. Let me read a quote from this article I was looking at. It says. Ron Rivera says, He says, first, Newton wasn't consulted on a decision to release Smith. He also wasn't consulted on whether the Panthers should try to re-sign Brandon LaFell, Ted Ginn Jr., or Dominic Hickson. Newton was in the Caribbean when everything transpired, and he had no idea of the transactions had occurred until he returned to Charlotte to have an MRI on his left ankle, which led to surgery that will force him to miss the next 4 months, right? So that's what was going on. This dude was chilling in the Caribbean somewhere, having a vacation, and he comes back and bam, whoa, where my boys at? I mean, what is going on? And you would think that somebody when I asked him, how Newton felt when he found out about all this, and all Rivera media and things handle this kind of stuff. And I bring it up is because of the fact that, I just thought it was kind of odd, that, he had no idea what was going on. You know what I mean? And, and then Rivera went on to make one more quote, which I thought was really, really crazy. He says that it's all speculation. People are going to write, think, and say what they think and don't know. But that had nothing to do with what we did. What we did was all about football. And, for that, I kind of agree. I don't think, and why bring Cam into that? You know what I'm saying? That's not really he need to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing kind of transpired because of Dante. Is it Dante? I think it was Dante Stallworth. He had tweeted. I forget exactly what the tweet said. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Nah, I can't find it. But I know the tweet was something like, "Man, all the Carolina Panthers are gone," and Cam, and they didn't even bother to tell Cam about it. Something like that, which I thought was really crazy. But it is what it is, and then we move on and we try to correct this problem and things like that. So that was, you know what I mean? That was the first story that I kind of wanted to talk about. And then, so, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a quick social media break. And, when we come back, we'll talk about, some other stuff. But yeah, thought it was, I don't know, I just kind of thought it was a little crazy, you know, that went down like it did. You know what I mean? But anyway, we'll be back in a minute. What up, football fans? You want to stay up on the latest of Team Boyd TV happenings? Like us on our Facebook page at Team Boyd TV on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter at Team Boyd TV and at VernieB73. You can also check out our YouTube page at Team Boyd TV Turbo, where there's live events, videos, among other things. You can also keep up with the latest happenings, live chats, question and answer sessions on Google Plus at Team Boyd TV. Thank you once again for watching Team Boyd TV. I just want to take this time to let everybody know that we have a brand new and improved TeamBoydTV.com. On TeamBoydTV.com right now, we have a nice little blog that I've been writing so far. We will be getting a couple different people to write on there. We got Fernie B, got some stuff that's in the oven cooking. JB gonna have some things for us. We're gonna be doing all of our live programming as far as the shows that we do on YouTube. They will also be on TeamBoydTV.com. So on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, you'll be able to watch Team Boyd TV Game Time and Team Boyd TV live directly on TeamBoydTV.com. Also, the podcast that you listen to right now will also be being broadcast from TeamBoydTV.com also. And, you know, again, you know, I want to thank everybody, you know, for paying attention and being down with Team Boyd TV. All right. So yeah, man, that was, the next thing I want to talk about was, you know, the fact that, you know, because I said this in the last podcast, I was saying how they needed to figure out what they needed to do, because they thought this situation that was going on right now with everybody leaving the team and losing all the wide receivers and trying to get this salary cap situation under control, that you know, what we're going to do about next year, when it's really important that we try to make sure that we can get Cam Newton signed and all this kind of stuff. And lo and behold, the news comes out that the Carolina Panthers decided they wanted to exercise their fifth-year club option on Mr. Cam Newton, which, of course, didn't really surprise a lot of people. And I don't know. You know, at first I thought, you know, maybe they were doing all the stuff they were doing by, you know, letting go of all those free agents and, letting go of all those free agents and then trying to re-sign people at these really, really low, cheap prices so that they could afford to put together this nice little deal for Cam Newton at the end of this season. But it looked like they need a little bit more time. So they are willing to go ahead and exercise that fifth-year option, which I think has to be done by May 3rd. I think that's what it is. I think that's the date. May 3rd, it has to be signed and done and that kind of thing. So, you know, it's a crazy thing. Here's the thing, though. So, like, if they got this done, May 3rd, which I thought this was, the Cam Newton's agent, Bus Cook, said that he wasn't surprised to hear the Panthers plan to use the fifth-year club option on Newton. General Manager Dave Gettleman said last week that the Panthers would use the option, which must be exercised by May 3rd. Now, the interesting thing is we're doing all this stuff trying to, you know, work out the salary cap situation and all that kind of stuff. But this move, though, will guarantee Newton a salary of $14.7 million for 2015, although the two sides can continue to work on a long-term extension after the option is picked up. And so it wouldn't really impact them this season at all, which is really, really cool. I think that's a good idea to go ahead and do that because, you know, when he got back in 2011, when Cam Newton came into the league, this was around the same time that we had that the brand new collective bargain agreement and all that stuff, and they were saying how the new collective bargaining agreement limited the guaranteed money first round picks received in their initial 4-year contracts and gave the clubs control of the fifth year as well. Newton signed a 4-year deal worth a guaranteed $22 million after the Panthers drafted him first overall in 2011. So, you know, over the last couple of years, he's going to be done picked up $22 million, and then they're going to grab another 14.7 for next year. So $30 million, for your first, couple of years in the league, I think it's pretty good. And that's all, guaranteed. I'm saying is he pretty sure got some more money from somewhere else too, bonuses and things like that. And it's crazy though. It's like this kind of stuff that goes on in the NFL be tripping me out though, because it's all business, and it takes so much away from the game. You know what I mean? But at the same time, this stuff has to be done. We got to deal with it, and that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's cool though. That we will get to see Cam this season, and we'll get to see him in that magical 2015 season that everybody claiming supposed to be Carolina's year because of the fact that we'll have our salary cap straightened out. Which I'm cool about that. I just hoping that we can do something this year. So it's all good though. Because at first when free agency opened up and all this crazy stuff was going on, I'm gonna tell you, man, I was bummed out, man. I'm gonna tell you, like I said in the last podcast, it was people who were flipping out so much that they were claiming that they were not Panthers fans no more, and it was jumping off the bandwagon or whatever you want to call it. It was ridiculous, man. It was crazy. And then people were outraged and upset about the whole Steve Smith thing. And then they got even more upset when all the receivers started leaving. And then they were more upset when we lost a bunch of secondary people. And, it just kept going on, and it was like a downward spiral. It was tough to to get through those first 3 or 4 weeks, man. But we made it to this point, and I don't know. I'm starting to feel a whole lot better about the situation because, we had a few things that then happened. Like the wide receiver thing, we had to figure out what we needed to do. And it looked like we're going to try to do a repeat of what we did last year. We're going to talk about that more here in a minute. But first, I want to say that, yeah, man, you guys can communicate with me while I'm doing the podcast. You can tweet me at TeamBoydTV. Like I said earlier in the open, that the Skype line is open. Just open up your Skype, type in TeamBoydTV, and you can call in if you wanted to, leave some comments or you want to kind of, speak about some certain things and whatnot. We also, you can also, if you go and click the link that I don't think I left a link on Spreaker, Facebook. No, I left a link on Google Plus, Facebook. I tweeted out the link to the actual podcast on Spreaker. Now, if you go to the Spreaker channel, which is Spreaker.com/user/TeamBoydTV, click on the live broadcast little thing. There's a little chat box right there, so you can still, send me kind of broadcasting. It's cool, and we can do that kind of thing. We're gonna move in and we're gonna talk about what's been happening with the wide receiver situation here in a second. But first, I got to talk about some sponsors and things like that. So that's what we're gonna get into that stuff here in a second. So the first thing is we're gonna talk about domain.com, man. Domain.com is the domain service that TeamBoydTV uses to do TeamBoydTV.com. I also use it on my other endeavor, which is Platinum Style Media. So domain.com is good stuff, man. They got like good prices on domain names and web hosting. So, I got my package. I got my domain name for $9.99 for the first year, and I also got web hosting for $19.99 for the first year. So I can bring you guys all this Team Boyd TV content, and have it all kind of centralized in a location as easy to kind of get to as TeamBoydTV.com. So it's been cool. I like TeamBoydTV.com. It's awesome. You know what I mean? And then there's also not domain.com, Spreaker. Like I've been talking about Spreaker the whole time we've been doing the podcast, because this is actually my first podcast on Spreaker. And Spreaker is actually a really cool place if you want to get into podcasting and things like that. It's got the little DJ mixer console. You can load in your music and your sound clips. It has integration with all your social media, your Twitter, your Facebook, Google Plus, SoundCloud. It is awesome, man. So, if you go and log in and sign up for an account at Spreaker, you can get started doing your podcast right away. You don't really need no special tools and equipment and nothing like that. Everything is done from the built-in studio interface on the website, which is awesome. You know what I mean? It is actually pretty cool. And so I'm really enjoying myself. You know what I mean? And, speaking of Spreaker, so, basically the reason why I got into podcasting in the first place is because a lot of people don't have time to sit down in front of a computer or whatever and watch YouTube videos and stuff, which, I love YouTube, don't get me wrong, but, a lot of times, when I'm at work and stuff, I like to listen to podcasts and stuff like that. So now you can download the TeamBoydTV presents the Black and Blue podcast and listen to it while you're at work or anything like that. Just download the Spreaker app, which is available on the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store for Android, the Windows Phone Store on Windows Phone. Download the app, search for Team Boyd TV or Blue and Black Podcast, and boom, there you go, man. You got it, and it's good. And so that way you can always listen to all your podcasts that you're looking for. And again, if you really want to get into podcasting, check out Spreaker.com and to set up your website and get the best pricing and domain names and web hosting. Check out domain.com. Those are my boys. They've been looking out for me, so it's all good. All right. So with all that done and all the bills paid and stuff, let's get into this though, because this is interesting. This is really interesting right here. And I don't really want to name read the report verbatim. You know what I mean? But and everybody know the news, right? I think it was just the other day. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. It was a couple days ago. Carolina Panthers signed Jason Avant from the Philadelphia Eagles, man, which is actually pretty good. I always liked Avant. Avant was one of those guys who was always the just a dude that you can count on, and also he wasn't a number one. He's not a number one. You know what I mean? He's not a number one receiver by no means, but he's a good, dependable receiver that can get them chains to move, and that's all we really care about right now. We need to get these chains moving. And I think about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, the Panthers came to terms with Jericho Cotchery from the Pittsburgh Steelers, which again, not a number one, but again, a dude that is a good veteran guy. That isn't not going to be a whole lot of rookie style young guy mistakes and things like that. Do know how to play the game. Been in the league for quite a while. And he has his numbers and his production has been pretty good. Nothing really to sneeze at. And the last one was Taquan Underwood from Tampa Bay, and a draft pick or two to be named later. So I think Carolina's looking all right. Because everybody who look at these names and say Jericho Cotchery, Jason Avant, Taquan Underwood, really? These ain't nobodies. These guys are nothing. Y'all said the same exact thing at the beginning of last season when they had Brendan LaFell, Ted Ginn Jr., and Dominic Hickson. Who are these guys? Neither one of those guys was a number one. And the Panthers went on to win 12 games? 12 games? 12 or 14? 12 games. Yeah, they went on to win 12 games. And, the performance of the guys last year wasn't outstanding, but it was enough to get them to win 12 games, you know what I mean? And then I'm thinking, Cotchery, Avant, Underwood, these names I think is enough to get us to actually put forth a really, because I was worried that we weren't going to have no receivers that was going to be able to do anything. But we got some receivers that will definitely compete. And that's all I'm really, all I'm worried about right now. And my printer is just starting up, going off, and no reason. I don't know what's up with that. Printer just came on and started making all this noise. I don't get it. Anyway, so I got this comparison chart that I want to talk to you guys about, and it compares and that's what they call it. They call it the old regime, which was Smith, Hickson, LaFell, and Ginn, versus this new regime, which is Cotchery, Avant, and Underwood. And here's a couple numbers I want to throw at you guys, right? So it says, in terms of 2013 receptions, the old regime held 149 to 108 advantage. Last year's receivers held a 1,928 to 1,489 edge in receiving yards. So they were about 400 yards better in receiving, the guys last year were, versus the numbers that the guys who we have this year put up with their respective teams last year, right? Now, this is not talking about how they're gonna perform when they with a quarterback like Cam Newton, because let's look at who the quarterbacks were that these guys were playing for last year. Jericho Cotchery, okay, of course he was playing for Ben Roethlisberger, but then again with all the people that they had last year, he wasn't really getting a whole lot of looks anyway. Jason Avant, he had Michael Vick to start the year, and then they went to Nick Foles. I don't think Barkley showed up last season. I can't remember or not. I know there was a bunch of quarterback crap going on in Philadelphia last year. But, of course, they had to go through like a quarterback change or whatever. And then Taquan Underwood, I think they started with Freeman, and Freeman was horrible, right? And then they went from Freeman to some other guy to finally they got Mike Glennon and all that kind of stuff. So, his numbers probably could have been better and that kind of thing. So all I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. Is that, okay, they didn't do too bad. Of course, if you look at these numbers, receptions, 149 the old guys had to 108 what the new guys did with they crappy quarterbacks that they had last season. All right. And you got to understand this too. Remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost like the first 5 or 6 games of the season. 5 games, 5 or 6 games, something like that. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing. Right. So let's talk about touchdowns for a minute though. Right. The new guys with the quarterbacks that I just talked about, they had 16 touchdowns, which is, this number ain't crazy, but the guys that we had in Carolina last year had 14 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's really not that much of a difference. You see what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like with the edge going to the new guys, because the new guys have been in the league a little bit longer than the guys that we just saw leave Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You guys let me know what y'all think about that. But, so then there is people like Ted Ginn, right? So, no, let's back up. Let's back up. So it says, the Panthers aren't far from that, although Cotchery and Avant are only short-term solutions. So that's Cotchery and Avant. And it's nothing about Underwood, right? So look at Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn saw a 94.4% increase in production in 2013. 94.4%. That's almost like basically whatever he did in San Francisco, he did 100% better than that in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? With Cam Newton. So what I'm saying, not talking about Ginn, I'm talking about with the quarterback, with Cam Newton, and the fact that, Carolina was using these guys, particularly Ted Ginn, in a different, way than they were using him in San Francisco. And if Underwood can double that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a win for us, man. Like, I mean, we don't know what Taquan Underwood can, basically, come to Carolina, and if he can do as well as Ginn did, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Then we got a draft coming up, and, we got everybody talking about Sammy Watkins, everybody talking about Mike Evans. They won't be around, because I think Carolina going on number 28, I think. Yeah, I think they're going 28. So I don't know. Like the Watkins and Evans, I wouldn't, if I was you guys, I probably wouldn't be concerned about those two guys. You know what I'm saying? But there's enough receivers that if Carolina takes 1 or 2 in the first 3 rounds, those players can be as much of a more of a factor as last year's 4th wide receiver, Dominic Hickson. So whoever they can get is going to be better than Dominic Hickson. Because Hickson had 7 catches for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. But that 1 touchdown was pretty big. You know what I'm saying? That was a touchdown against New Orleans, and that was I ain't gonna take that from Hickson. That was pretty good. But that 1 touchdown, all he had was that 1 touchdown. So his production was pretty much, straight up lackluster and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel real good. I feel real good about what we look like right now. At the wide receiver position, I think we're doing awesome. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of thing. So when we look at a couple of different things, we got Steve Smith, who was age 35. He had 64 receptions, 745 yards, 4 touchdowns. LaFell he was 27 years old. He had 49 receptions, 627 yards, 5 touchdowns. Ginn, who's the youngest one of the group, 36 receptions, 556 yards with 5 touchdowns. Nobody over 1,000 yards. Nobody over 10 touchdowns. Crazy stuff. Now, the replacements, right? We got Jericho Cotchery, 32 years old. So, in fact, all these guys are younger than the guys, well, except for Ted Ginn, he was the youngest one that we lost. But all these guys are, well, all of them not younger, because Cotchery is 32, and LaFell was 27. But anyway, Cotchery, 46 receptions, 602 yards, 10 touchdowns. See, that's 10 touchdowns. That's more than any receiver that we had last year. Jason Avant, 38 receptions, 446. He only had 2 touchdowns. Underwood, which is the youngest out of these guys, he had 24 receptions, 440 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Which, like I said, I think we're okay. Okay, I think we are fine. I think this will get us through 2014, and maybe even now we can probably. Because I was saying that ain't no way in the world we're going to be able to compete with Tampa for this and try to defend our NFC South championship. But now I'm thinking we might. Because the front seven is pretty much intact. We're probably going to lose some people like Travell Wharton, and we're probably going to lose a few guys. But I don't think it's going to be impacted that much. I think we're going to be okay. So I think we're going to be absolutely fine. I think it's going to be perfect. But here's the thing. A lot of people were talking about Carolina was going to slip down to the bottom of the division a couple weeks ago. Well, about a month or two ago. That's what everybody was saying, including myself. I said it too, right? And it's just I just don't think that's what's going to happen right now. I think we're okay. I think we are going to be all right. I think we're in a good position to defend our division crown and maybe even take that next step, because we made it to the playoffs last season and we got beat pretty bad and that kind of thing. But I think we're going to be okay. That's all I'm saying. For this particular podcast, man, I'm going to go ahead and close the door on this one. Had a blast talking to you guys about what I was, what I've been checking out and everything. Again, there's some stuff going on. We're getting ready for the TeamBoydTV Live, what did we call it last year? What do we call it? We call it the TeamBoydTV Live divisional breakdowns that we had so much fun doing last summer. I think we have the NFL schedule release. I think it's Friday or Saturday, sometime this week. But as soon as we get that schedule, I'm going to count that thing back by 8 weeks. And that's going to be the day that we start the TeamBoydTV Live divisional breakdowns with me, my boy JB, my homeboy Glass, and some other people that we might bring in from time to time. It should be fantastic. Again, we'll have all kind of stuff going on TeamBoydTV.com. We'll have the new T-shirts we're going to be giving away, mugs and stuff like that. It's going to be awesome. Towels. We're doing all that stuff this season. The podcast will continue to roll on. We might see some other podcasts. So I think I might do, a TeamBoydTV general type podcast that talks about the whole entire NFL, just because I have so much fun doing the podcast. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. And then, of course, NFL Game Time will make its fourth season. It'll come back for its fourth season, which I'm super proud of, that we're in our fourth season of TeamBoydTV Game Time. And it's, me and Vernon, we have such a blast doing that show. But yeah, we got some new stuff going on with that too. So I'm telling you, we got some stuff this season on TeamBoydTV. So that's how we're going to do it, man. And, I forgot about this. And I didn't really want to start talking about this now because it's a little early. But we also going to do how we, last season, we closed the season out with the TeamBoydTV annual playoff spectacular. So we're going to kick the season off with a TeamBoydTV kickoff spectacular. And we're going to try to get as many of the YouTube NFL community guys on the panel as we possibly can. This is going to be a star-studded show. It's going to be awesome because we had so much fun doing the playoff spectacular. It was awesome. So, and like I said, it's kind of early. I didn't want to talk about this early. But yeah, it's going down, though. It is going down, and that's why we're going to do it. Anyway, until next time, y'all, I'm your boy, Big Q, and this has been the Black and Blue Podcast for the week of March 8th, 2014, episode number 4, Rebuilding the Carolina Panthers Wide Receiver Core. I'll see you guys next time, and I'll see you guys on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Facebook. Everybody take it easy. Have a good one. Peace. You are listening to the Black and Blue Podcast. presented by TeamBoydTV.